So I know a lot of you are probably going to be thinking, where is Kalos? Well, because the hype of Sun and Moon was too great, I decided to do Alola before Kalos. But don't worry, Kalos will be here shortly. Sun and Moon though. Whew! What a game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Sun and Moon. The story was incredibly engaging, the visuals took my breath away, and the new features made the game much more convenient. Not to mention the fact that the games actually gave me a challenge, and the new Pokemon were amazing as well.
Oh, hello Insider. Glad to see you here. I'll take it you're helping me through this Alolan adventure?
I mean, I guess so. I just heard you talking about Sun and Moon and I wanted to join in.
It is definitely a hot topic, especially with the best team. That's why today, we're going to be bringing you guys what we think is the best team for Alola. Like always, we will be making a team that is well against all of the major battles within the games, except there are no gyms, and we will be covering Totem Pokemon, Trail Captains, Kahunas, and the many other usual important battles. For example, the Rivals, Team Skull, Elite Four, and Champion.
Additionally, Egg moves and Tutor moves will not be included in this team along with version-exclusive Pokemon because this team is meant to be played in either version of the Alola region. Now with all that said, let's get into the team.
So as always, we need to start a Pokemon. We aren't going to get into very strong details as that is Arizo's job. However, we will be covering the gist of how it does in major battles and of course recommend a moveset. We also do not know what starter Arizo will pick, so in all honesty, he could have something totally opposite of what we have. Regardless though, we will have a rundown of what we think is the best and save the in-depth research for Arizo and his partner. What we came up with in our research as well was that this starter was the perfect choice in order to make what we feel is the best team for Alola.
Based on our research, Popplio is our optimal starter choice. Popplio does well against all of the Kahunas and the majority of the Elite Four. Hala, Olivia, Nanu, and Hapu use 4 types that Popplio covers, being Fighting, Rock, Dark, and Ground. Hala and Olivia return in the Elite Four, making it way easier to have Popplio in these spots than any other starter. On top of that, Popplio doesn't really struggle much against any of the Totem Pokemon, and it does pretty well against Team Skull as well. The other 2 starter Pokemon have at least a couple struggles in the main game, but with Popplio, we didn't find this same trait.
Now I need to find a viable moveset for this adorable little siren merman thingy. For early water moves, the best are Water Gun, Aqua Jet, and Bubble Beam. Despite its low attack stat, Aqua Jet can come in handy in certain situations with it being a priority move. Its final water attack we recommend though is Scald. Scald can be obtained pretty early in the game, being near Launa's Trial on Akala Island. This move has 80 power and has that 30% chance to burn, which is amazing when going up against some of those hard-hitting physical attacking Pokemon. Burn halves the attack power. For Fairy, the only moves it gets are Disarming Voice and later on Moonblast, so keep Disarming Voice and then just teach it Moonblast once it learns at level 44.
In terms of coverage moves, we decided to go with Ice Beam and Energy Ball. Energy Ball is acquired in the Lush Jungle, which can take care of Hapu's Gastrodon, and Ice Beam can help with Dragon and Flying types, mainly the Elite Four's Kahili and her Flying types. By the way, Ice Beam is found right before the Pokemon League.
Time for team building, and our first catch is a Lowland Grimer, which can be found in Route 1, right by the trainer's school. Let me just say that this Pokemon has one of the best typings around, being Poison and Dark. It only has one weakness, being Ground. It can also hit very hard and can take hits well with its amazing bulk. For how early this Pokemon is obtainable and how reliable it can be for the late game is pretty impressive. The matchup Alolan Muck has for the major battles is also pretty great for its primary and secondary typings.
Lowland Grimer starts off with a strong stab move at level 7 in Bite, and at level 18 it gets access to its first good poison type move, Poison Fang. When fully evolved though, it's probably best to go with Gunk Shot and Crunch as its main stab moves, which can both be learned by level up. Gunk Shot can deal out massive damage with its base 120 power and 80% accuracy, and 30% chance to poison the opponent. And Crunch is no move to scoff at either, with 80 base power, 100% accuracy, and a 20% chance to drop the opponent's defense stat by 1 stage.
Coverage can come in a lot of handy with this Pokemon, as it is likely going to see a lot of battle time due to it taking hits and such. For its first move, we decided to go with Brick Break. Brick Break comes in handy for taking on the Steel types and Rock types, most notably Olivia's team. Just be wary of her ground type moves, mainly her Probopass's Earth power. Next, we decided to give it Rockslide. A lot of Team Skull's Pokemon such as Golbat and Crobat can be dealt with using Rockslide.
Also, Alolan Muck will do amazing against the Ether Foundation, most notably Faba and his completely Psychic type team. Muck is also super effective against 4 out of Lucamine's 5 Pokemon if you take into account Brick Break against Beware. In Totem battles, it does well against Lurantis, one of Popplio's weaknesses. Against the Elite Four, Acerola's Drifblim, Delmise, and Frostlass are all weak to Alolan Muck, but her Palossand can give it trouble. The entire Champions team is weak to one of our Muck's moves. Kukui's Lycanroc, Magnezone, and Snorlax are all weak to Brick Break, although Snorlax has coverage with high horsepower. Decidueye is weak to its Stab Dark-type moves, and Stab Poison moves will take out Alolan Ninetales. Finally, Braviary will fall to a Rockslide or two. Next, we're off to Akala Island for our third Pokemon found on Route 5, and that's Fomantis. Fomantis' fully evolved form Lurantis is a massive physical powerhouse with 105 base attack, and it can definitely take some hits as well with 90 in both defense stats. Having a pure grass type at this point in the game really helps out because of Olivia's rock type team, and it can be a great asset against major Pokemon like Totem Wishiwashi, Acerola's Palossand, Kukui's Lycanroc, Hapu and Olivia's entire team, Nanu's Krokorok, and Lusamine's Milotic.
I know this is off topic from moves, but I'm just going to say Lurantis is my favorite Sun and Moon Pokemon. I had to say that, sorry. But for main stab moves, anything that is grass and physical will do the job, early on and later. Special moves can be implemented though if need be. The two most notable ones are Energy Ball and Grass Knot, which can both be obtained in Lush Jungle. The best one we think though is Leaf Blade. It has 90 power and has an increased critical hit ratio.
For coverage moves, we definitely need to give it the majorly buffed Leech Life, which went all the way up to 80 base power. Leech Life would do well against Faba's entire team, Howl's Leafeon, Nanu's Alolan Persian, Totem Lurantis, and Lusamine's Lilligant. Aerial Ace is another good coverage move because it can be good against Totem Komodo and pretty much Hala's entire team. Finally, we want to have Brick Break again to cover Pokemon like Kukui's Snorlax and Magnezone, along with Lusamine's Bewear, Olivia's Probopass, and Howl's Kamala.
The fourth Pokemon we are going to pick up is Eevee, and then later evolving it into Jolteon. Of course, there are other electric Pokemon, but Jolteon is the best stat-wise. Alolan Raichu is good, but the unfortunate part is Raichu does not get a hard-hitting electric move until it gets discharged. You could evolve Pikachu when you get it with Electro Ball, but that's literally the only electric move you get until TMs. And Thunderbolt is post-game. Raichu gets Thunderbolt via Move Relearner, but that is not until literally right before the Elite Four. Even by then, Jolteon still hits harder with Discharge than Raichu would with Thunderbolt. And with how early the player can get it, Jolteon does a way better job than Pikachu, having 60 base special attack over it and 40 speed over it.
So to get Jolteon, you first need to get an Eevee egg on Akala Island. If you hatch the egg and evolve it at level 1 with a Thunderstone from either Route 8 or the shop in Coney City, it will get Thundershock right off the bat. Jolteon will do well against a lot of major battles in Alola, such as Totem Wishiwashi, Kahili of the Elite Four, Team Skull's Zubat line, mainly Plumerias and Gladions, Hala's Poliwrath, Olivia's Relicanth, Kukui's Braviary, and Guzma's Golisopod. On top of all of its advantages type-wise, Jolteon is a fast and strong special attacker, and the main thing is its speed. Many of the new Alolan Pokemon struggle in the speed department, and having a fast Pokemon can capitalize on that.
For moves, there are only two electric moves it gets, being Thundershock and Discharge. Thundershock will stick on Jolteon all the way until Discharge. There is Thunderfang, but with that pitiful attack stat, it wouldn't do nearly as much as Thundershock would. Thunder is another option, but with the accuracy only being 70, it's a chance taker. Coverage moves are a little more interesting because we have 3 move slots rather than 2 for our usual dual typings. Although it doesn't have very many coverage moves to begin with, we give it a support move being Thunder Wave, a momentum move being Volt Switch, and Shadow Ball because that's really the only move it can get via coverage-wise. Thunder Wave can half the speed of Pokemon, making it easier for slower to outspeed. Volt Switch is good for getting damage in sticky situations. And Shadow Ball can be used on Ghost and Psychic Pokemon, mainly being Fabe, Acerola's team, along with Lusamine's Mismagius, Howl's Alolan Raichu, Totem Mimikyu, and Kukui's Decidueye.
The last Pokemon we're going to pick up on Akala Island is a Lowland Diglett, which can be found in Diglett Tunnel. It can be found in other places, but it's kind of a hassle to get it any earlier. Alolan Diglett's type combination of Ground and Steel will help out a ton against Olivia's Battle, Totem Mimikyu, Howl's Raichu, Kukui's Magnezone and Lycanroc, and being immune to poison, it will have a large advantage against most of Team Skull's Pokemon. Another bonus for having a Lowland Diglett is that it's a fast Pokemon. When it evolves, it has base 110 speed, and it can hit hard with physical moves with its base 100 attack. Early on, it has access to stab moves like Bulldoze and Metal Claw, but once it evolves, it will get Iron Head and Earthquake, each powerful physical moves with 80 and 100 base power respectively.
For coverage, a Lowland Dug trio has a pretty good lineup for coverage attacks. The first one we decided on was Aerial Ace. A Lowland Dug trio has a fighting weakness, and having Aerial Ace comes in handy. It doesn't miss, and with that really high speed stat helping take out some of Hala's Pokemon if they are at low HP, can really come in handy. Aerial Ace can be found at the Mile City Mart in the Pokemon Center. Aerial Ace also does well against How's Leafeon, Guzma's Bug types, and Acerole's Delmice. Its second is Stone Edge. Ground types can't touch flying types, that's a given, but with a rock type attack, that problem is solved. This attack can be used against a flying type. Major battle such as Kahili's flying team. It can also be used against Gladian's Sneasoline, Acerole's Frostlass, and Drifblim, and Kukui's Braviary.
After a Lowland Dug trio, we're going to wait until Pony Island to get our last team member, Komodo. Jangmo-o can be found at the top of Vast Pony Canyon at level 41 to 44, and it evolves into Komodo at level 45, so there shouldn't be much of a problem evolving it. Since this fighting and dragon type Pokemon is obtained so late, there are only a few places where you're going to need it, but it will do well against a lot of the late game trainers such as Hala's Beware, Olivia's entire team, How's Kamala and Incineroar, and Kukui's Magnezone and Snorlax. Having the fighting type comes in major handy against Kukui's Snorlax because it's one of the toughest Pokemon you face in the entire game, and having coverage is great.
This dragon Pokemon is definitely very powerful, and for once I can actually say we can have a dragon Pokemon on a best team. This dragon is perfect. Such amazing stats all around. It truly is a masterpiece of a Pokemon. We need moves though, and the best ones are no doubt Dragon Claw and Brick Break. Outrage is great too, but just beware it gets confused after 2 to 3 turns of using it and you were locked in. Sky Uppercut has 90 accuracy with 85 power. Brick Break has 75 with 100 accuracy. We thought accuracy over power. After all, it's only a 10 power difference.
Komodo's type combination lends itself to a ×4 weakness to Fairy, which is why our first coverage move is Poison Jab, which is obtained right outside of Po Town. This move comes in handy not only against Fairy types as well, as it will help out against Lucamine's Lilligant, as well as Gladian's Grass type Silvally. For the other coverage move, we decided to go with Rockslide to help out against Flying and Ice types, but it will also do well against Fire and Bug types. A few notable Pokemon this will help against are Gladian's Crobat, Acerole's Drifblim, Kahili's Oricorio, and Kukui's Braviary and Alolan Ninetales.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the best team for Alola. This team is definitely very powerful and will help you out on your Sun and Moon playthrough. One of the many things about Sun and Moon though are all the details about Sinnoh. Have you noticed that, Insider?
I did, Mystic. In fact, I noticed so many that I wanted to cover the possibility of these details being a hint towards the Generation 4 games getting a remake in the 7th generation. If you're interested, be sure to head over to my channel where Mystic and I discuss this very interesting topic.
There are so many hints too, it's crazy. If you guys did enjoy this video though, be sure to leave a like and share this video with a friend. With that being said though, I've been Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more Pokemon content.